You're sitting quietly, doing nothing in particular, when you feel it, that sense of being watched. You look up, and across the room, your dog is looking right at you, not glancing, not checking, just looking, softly and steadily, holding your eyes with its own. And for a moment, neither of you looks away. It feels, in that quiet space, like something is passing between you, like your dog is telling you something without a single sound. We all know this moment, and we all reach for the same word to explain it: love. My dog looks at me like that because my dog loves me. It is one of the most tender things in the entire relationship, that soft, wordless gaze. If you love learning more about the hidden ways dogs communicate with us, subscribe to Dog Mind and stay with us for more. But here is what makes this particular behavior so extraordinary. For once, when we look at the science, it does not gently correct our romantic assumption. It comes surprisingly close to confirming it. There really is something happening in that shared look, something measurable, something that reaches deep into the biology of love itself. Tonight, let's find out what actually happens when your dog looks into your eyes, because it may be even more remarkable than you imagined, and because there is also one crucial thing about a dog's stare that everyone needs to understand for their own safety. Let's start with the discovery that changed how scientists think about the bond between us and our dogs. To understand it, we first have to talk about a hormone called oxytocin. You may have heard of it. It is sometimes called the love hormone or the bonding.
When a mother and infant gaze into each other's eyes, both of their brains release oxytocin, which deepens their attachment, which makes them want to gaze even more. It is a loop, a beautiful, self-feeding cycle of connection powered by eye contact. For a long time, this gaze-driven bonding loop was thought to be something that happened between members of the same species, mother and child, human and human. And then, in 2015, a team of Japanese researchers led by Miho Nagasawa published a study in the journal Science that quietly astonished the world of animal behavior. They wondered whether that same sacred loop might somehow exist between two completely different species, between people and their dogs. So they watched dogs and their owners simply spend time together, and they measured the oxytocin in both. And what they found was breathtaking. When dogs and their owners shared long mutual gazes, the oxytocin levels rose in both of them, in the dog and in the human. The longer they gazed at each other, the more both brains released that bonding hormone. The exact same loop that ties a mother to her child was quietly humming between people and their dogs. And then they took it one step further to be sure the effect was real. They gave dogs a small dose of extra oxytocin and watched what happened. The dogs, especially the females, began to gaze at their owners more. And as the dogs gazed more, the owner's oxytocin rose in response, all on its own. The loop could be switched on from either end. This was not a one-way street. It was a genuine two-way chemical conversation of connection, passing silently back and forth through.
The researchers ran a version of the test with wolves who had been raised by humans and were closely bonded to them, and the wolves did not do it. They did not hold that soft, human-style gaze, and the oxytocin loop did not appear, which points to something profound. This gazing behavior, this ability to bond with us through our eyes, seems to be something dogs developed specifically during their long journey alongside humans. Somewhere across thousands of years of domestication, dogs learned to look into our eyes in a way their wild ancestors never did. They found a pathway straight into the human heart, and they walked right through it. Now, it is worth being a careful and honest guide here, because this study, as beautiful as it is, sparked real scientific discussion. Some researchers have raised fair questions about parts of it, about how far the findings stretch, and exactly how the wolf comparison was done. Good science invites that kind of scrutiny, and the full story is still being written. But the core discovery has resonated widely, and it fits everything else we know. Dogs are extraordinarily attuned to our eyes, in a way no other animal quite matches. When your dog seeks out your gaze, it is using one of the most powerful tools of connection that exists. If you're enjoying discovering what is really happening inside your dog's mind, subscribe to Dog Mind. There is so much more to understand about the animals we share our lives with. And your dog uses that tool in more ways than pure affection. Watch what happens when you give your dog a puzzle it cannot solve, a treat sealed in a container it cannot open. Very often, after struggling for a moment, the dog will stop, turn, and look up into your eyes. It is asking.
It is saying, in the only way it can, "I need help. You can fix this." Wolves, faced with the same problem, tend to just keep working at it alone. But dogs look to us. Our eyes to a dog are a place to turn, for comfort, for information, for connection, and for help. So when your dog holds your gaze, a great deal of the time, that warm feeling you get is not your imagination. It is real, it is mutual, and it is written in the chemistry of both your brains. But now we have to turn to the other side of this, because a dog's eyes do not only speak the language of love, and confusing the two can be genuinely dangerous. Because there is another kind of looking, and it means almost the opposite. It is not a soft, relaxed gaze that comes and goes with easy blinks. It is a hard stare, fixed, tense, unblinking, a whole body gone still and stiff behind it. In the language of dogs, that hard, frozen stare is not affection at all. It is a warning. It is a dog saying, "Back off. This is mine. Do not come closer." You might see it over a favorite chew, or a food bowl, or when a strange dog or person gets too close to something the dog is guarding. The difference between these two looks is everything. The loving gaze is soft, loose, and comfortable, offered freely during a calm and happy moment. The warning stare is hard, tight, and frozen, and it usually comes with a body that has turned to stone. Learning to tell them apart is not just interesting, it is one of the most important safety skills a dog owner, and especially a child, can ever learn.
To us, looking someone in the eye is polite, but to a dog, especially an unfamiliar or nervous one, a stranger leaning in close and staring directly into its eyes can feel like a threat. It is exactly the kind of pressure that can push a frightened dog towards snapping. This is why we should teach children never to put their face close to a strange dog's and never to stare it down. The magic of the loving gaze only works when it is freely given, relaxed, and welcomed by both sides. It is an invitation, never something to be forced. So think about what is really happening in that quiet moment, when your own dog, your trusted companion, finds your eyes across the room and softly holds them. That is not a stare, that is not a demand. That is your dog, freely and comfortably, opening a channel of pure connection. And on the other end of that channel, in both of you, something real is stirring. The same ancient chemistry that binds a parent to a child, quietly flowing between a human and a dog, through nothing more than a look. So the next time you catch your dog gazing softly at you, hold it for a moment. Let your eyes rest in each other, because you are not imagining the tenderness in it. You are taking part in one of the most remarkable bonds in the natural world, a bridge that dogs built to us across thousands of years, reaching for our hearts through our eyes. And now, at last, you understand what your dog has been saying.